video provides an introduction to materials in your precinct and information about setting up the polling place at the beginning of the day. Arriving at the polling place. Election judges assigned to the morning shift must arrive at their polling places by 6 a.m. You will need 1 hour to set up before voting begins at 7 a.m. If you are not able to get into the polling place on time or have difficulties that prevent voting from beginning at 7 a.m., call the elections hotline and your area logistics judge, the ALJ. If the building remains locked, the ALJ can provide an emergency voting kit so voting begins on time. Voting must begin at 7 a.m. Head judges should contact the polling place prior to Election Day to confirm who the individual opening the building is, to verify the building will be open by 6 a.m., and to learn the location of the pre-delivered election supplies. Head judges may set up their polling place the Monday prior to Election Day, if approved by the polling place contact. Upon arrival on Election Day, take a minute to introduce yourselves to each other. The head judge will administer the election judge oath to the group before beginning the polling place setup. The oath form is located in the green folder. Upon completing the oath, each judge must sign the form. In addition, while in the polling place, all judges should wear a name tag. The election judge roster, found in the purple folder, lists the election judges assigned to work in the precinct. Verify that each election judge present is assigned to work at this specific location. Judges from different major political parties will need to be paired in order to perform specific duties in the polling place. The roster will assist the head judge in determining which judges can be paired to perform these duties. The majority of the polling place supplies are delivered prior to Election Day. The delivery location is listed on the polling place contact sheet found in the purple folder. These materials are often stored in the room used for voting, or in a nearby storage closet or office. The pre-delivered materials include the green box, a blue tub titled Transfer Case Forms and Envelopes, a banker's box titled Transfer Case Polling Place Ballots, the black ballot box, the auto mark, voting booths, the Vote Here sign, U.S. flag, and voter parking signs. The green box contains the generic polling place supplies such as voter receipts, power cords, signs, clipboards, and pens. The Forms and Envelopes transfer case contains the black forms folder and all the envelopes used throughout Election Day. The ballot transfer case contains the precinct's ballots. The head judge will have the AccuVote ballot counter and the canvas bag when she arrives at her polling location. The canvas bag contains the green opening folder, the red closing folder, the purple information folder, extra roster binders, the polling place reference guide, the sign up to be an election judge form and promotional sign, and a cell phone. The head judge should confirm that the canvas bag materials and the AccuVote are specific to her precinct when picking them up on the Saturday prior to Election Day. Rosters will be delivered by a selected group of judges, each of whom will deliver to a few locations. Delivery of rosters to the polling places will occur between 6 and 6:30 a.m. Upon delivery, confirm that the rosters are for your precinct. If your rosters are not delivered by 6:40 a.m., call the elections hotline. Emergency rosters are provided in the canvas bag, but these should be used only if the regular rosters have not arrived by 7 a.m. Divide the registered roster into as many sections as you have binders and place the sections inside. Confirm that all supplies are for your precinct. Some polling locations contain 2 or more precincts, and it is important to separate supplies for each precinct. If any of the supplies are not for your polling place, or if supplies are missing, call the elections hotline. ALJs also have additional supplies and are available to assist with any Election Day problems. Setting up the polling place. The assigned room for voting is listed on the top of the polling place contact sheet. To properly set up the room, follow the instructions on the form titled Checklist Opening the Polls, which can be found in the green folder. The head judge will assign each task to the precinct judges. Post the polling place signs. Using the directional signs, visibly mark the route from the entrance of the building to the voting room. If the accessible entrance is different from the primary entrance, mark this route as well. Directional and informational signs are provided in the sign bag for this purpose. Blank cardstock is also available to make and post additional signage if needed. Remove the Sign Up to be an Election Judge form and promotional sign from the canvas bag and place the items on a table in view of voters moving through the polling place. Confirm that the voter parking areas, as listed on the polling place contact sheet, are signed for voter parking only and that 2 handicap spots are available. At certain locations, municipal public works departments will have already marked on-street parking for voters only. Placement of tables and voting booths. When setting up the polling room, consider the flow of traffic as voters move through the voting process. Tables and chairs will be provided by the polling location. The roster and registration tables should be near the entrance, allowing room for small lines of voters. The ballot judge table should be placed after those tables. Next, position the voting booths and tables for voting, and place the auto mark on a table, allowing room for foot traffic and ensuring privacy. Finally, the ballot counter should be located near the exit of the room. When setting up the ballot counter, be sure the lock is left in the open position so the hasp does not block the slot and prevent ballots from going through the counter. The voting area. Set up the voting booths. Provide electricity to each by plugging the power cord from the first one into the next booth, and so on, until the cord from the last booth is plugged into a power source. Once plugged into an outlet, the booth's lights will turn on automatically. If a unit's light does not turn on, check the fuse to ensure that it is seated properly, as this is generally the solution. You will also need at least 1 table and chair for voters who prefer to sit while voting. Place 1 voting booth on the table and have the chair positioned so it can be used if needed. Additional chairs should also be set up for voters who choose to mark their ballot using a clipboard rather than waiting in line for a voting booth. The ballot marking device, the AutoMark, should be set up in the voting area, but with its display screen facing away from voter traffic. It is important to maintain privacy for anyone using the touchscreen, but also attempt to minimize possible glare from windows. Election judges, using the blue tape, need to mark off 6-foot privacy perimeters around the voting areas, including the AutoMark, tables, and voting booths, to designate the areas where only voters marking their ballots and individuals assisting voters are allowed to enter. The ballot counter should be set up near the exit of the polling room and in view of the ballot judge. The head judge is responsible for the setup, opening, and management of the ballot counter. Other judges will be required to assist with its setup and the certification of the zero tape. Using the blue tape, mark off a 6-foot privacy perimeter. Only voters casting their ballots are allowed in this perimeter. Opening the polling place to the public. Using a cell phone, the head judge should establish the official time. At 7 a.m., place the Vote Here sign and the flag outside the main entrance. The polling place is now ready and open for voting.